2 months in office. Is the self-styled hustler government delivering for hustlers? We debate that on Pundits Night tonight. But first, these are the stories making headlines tonight. Tonight, government to review police officers' employment terms. Interior CS Kindiki says,
those boys who have dared the government and want to tell us that they can take over the city and make it a city of crime, we have also heard you, and therefore we are coming, effective immediately.
This as police warn criminals involved in mugging. 9 police officers accused of killing baby Pendo to take plea next week. Kenyans listed on CRB have until May 31st next year to pay mobile loan dues, as CBK says the credit repair plan will see 4.2 million Kenyans delisted. Mbesa is our sign language interpreter. Good evening, I'm Abubakar Abdullahi. Welcome to the broadcast. Tonight, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has put on notice criminal gangs terrorizing Nairobi city residents, issuing a 30-day ultimatum for them to return illegal guns. The tough-talking Kindiki, in a powerful message to the armed groups that have been mugging city dwellers, revealed an operation has been launched to deal with the emerging crime in Nairobi, with the Inspector General of Police Japhet Koome and Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja holding a meeting over the matter. Our reporter Moige William begins our broadcast tonight.
Reports of increased insecurity across the country's capital and other major cities have prompted the newly appointed Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki to break his silence over the issue that has been the talk among majority of Kenyans for weeks now. The tough-talking Kindiki at the stairs of Harambee House, coming guns blazing, sending a stern warning to the gang groups terrorizing city residents.
Those boys who have dared the government and want to tell us that they can take over the city and make it a city of crime, we have also heard you.
Kindiki, while confirming that the gangs are armed with knives and guns, he issued a 30-day ultimatum to the gangs to surrender illegal guns in their possession.
And we have taken measures to deal with the emerging crime trend in Nairobi.
Several cases have been reported in the city, with the National Police Service now listing the areas where the criminals operate. The areas include drive-in flyover up to KCA along Thika Road, KCA underpass, Total exit along Thika Road, Globe Cinema roundabout, Kipande Road, ABC Place, and Kangemi along Wayaki Way, and River Road, Archives, Kirinyaga Road in Nairobi CBD, as well as Fig Tree in Nairobi's Ngara Estate. At the same time, the CS Interior, in his inaugural press briefing, announced changes in the leadership and command of the National Police in Nairobi.
The National Police Service also has put in place again a multi-agency, multi-discipline response to this problem to get these our errant sons, maybe daughters, to get them out of our streets and put them where criminals belong to.
The announcement came just hours after Inspector General of Police Japhet Koome and Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja met over Nairobi County's security situation, as the two agreed to form the Nairobi County Policing Authority.
So umetoa mshale, unataka kutukia officer, utaenda. Utatangulia huko uende pali tutaenda mwishowe. Lakini utatangulia. There's no compromise. We cannot compromise the stability of this country. It can't happen.
But also, you must tell the young people, not having a job is not an excuse to be a criminal. There are also very many people out there who have no job, but they're not criminals, So
the police department say the gangs are targeting individuals, business premises, M-Pesa operators, and residential homes. Moige William, GOtv 47.
Moving on, 12 police officers accused of the murder of baby Samantha Pendo in 2017 were arraigned at the Milimani Law Courts. Baby Pendo was killed in the post-election violence that erupted after the 2017 general election. This as the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights asked the court to keep in mind the role of police commanders in baby Pendo's murder.
At the Milimani Law Courts in Nairobi, police officers accused in the murder of Samantha Pendo, a 6-month-old baby who met her untimely death during the 2017 post-election violence, were arraigned. The 12 police officers will face murder charges. 9 of the police officers who appeared before Justice Daniel Ogembo could not plead to the criminal charge, as their defense counsel raised objections, saying they have to file a constitutional petition challenging the offense brought against their clients. Meanwhile, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights has asked the court to keep in mind the role of police commanders in baby Pendo's murder.
We are happy with the judgment, or at least the ruling that has been made, and we are hoping that on 21st we'll have plea taken, and baby Pendo and the rest of the victims of the extrajudicial killings and police misconduct that happened in 2017 will not have to wait a day longer for this case to proceed and for them to see justice. Justice
Ogembo further directed each of the suspects to sign a personal bond of 200,000 shillings. The suspects who appeared in court are Titus Hioma, Titus Mutune, John Masha, Benjamin Koima, Benjamin Lorema, Volker Edambo, Cyprian Robi, Josephat Sensira and James Rono. Lina Koskei, Mohamed Ali and Mohamed Ba were summoned to appear in court.
Now, after alleged trouble brewing in Azimio la Umoja One Kenya over the nomination of lawmakers to the powerful Parliamentary Service Committee, the Senate minority leadership has refuted claims of the said division within its ranks and membership in the House. The Senate minority leader Stewart Mazayo now says that they have had discussions and consultations with Azimio principals, adding that Azimio la Umoja coalition is one team. As Mike Kagwongo tells us more.
Led by Senate Minority Leader Stewart Mazayo, the leaders dismissed claims that a plot has been hatched to remove Isiolo Senator Fatuma Dulo as Senate Minority Whip.
You can see we are one, and we have stated very clearly that we have discussed these matters, we have been with the principals, and we are one team.
On Thursday, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula sealed Jubilee's fate after he upheld the decision by the Senate that effectively locked out Uhuru's party in the PSC. Jubilee legislators protested the move by the Senate to delist Isiolo Senator Fatuma Dulo from the Parliamentary Service Commission, terming it political deceit and conmanship.
At this early stage, we are seeing a complete disregard of the rules of engagement. And this is why we are sounding this, that the Jubilee Party, as part of Azimio, is entitled to nominate one commissioner to the Parliamentary Service Commission.
So, Mr. Speaker,
the lawmakers led by National Assembly Deputy Whip Sabina Chege exposed the divisions in Azimio la Umoja One Kenya over the slots within the commission.
ODM in Azimio, we joined willingly, and if they mistreat Jubilee members, we leave them willingly.
But in the receiving end, Mazayo said they have had discussions and consultations with Azimio principals and wanted to make it very clear to the people that Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition is one team. It is alleged that 23 out of 29 Azimio senators had signed a petition to remove Dulo. But Mazayo said the reported list of signatures is null and void, as it did not originate from him as the coalition's voice in the Senate.
That kind of information that you see being carried out the way you have written is null and void. There's only one voice in the Senate who will speak for Azimio, and that is myself, not any other person.
So what happened then was that it's the communication that came at different times. And I was actually out of the country, he was in the country. So that is the difference. But otherwise, at the personal level, at the leadership level, we don't have any difference.
Elders MP Adan Kainan lamented that the Raila Odinga-led party move to sponsor amendments to withdraw Dulo's name was a flaw of the rules of engagement within the coalition. Mike, GOtv 47, Nairobi.
Now, the Commission for Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC chairman, has praised the cooperation between citizens and different sectors and the commission that has led to saving millions of money from the corrupt in the country. He was speaking during the opening of a workshop in Kakamega County. The opening of the workshop, which brought together different religious leaders and officials from the commission, challenged religious leaders to be responsible and help in the fight against corruption in the country.
Because if you don't love your country, they borrowed from a very important, it is so much relevant to these people here. Because it is talking about
the billions of property, of money that we have recovered. I think the latest 3 weeks is like 22 billion. So the work that EACC does is there in publications which are official, and you can see that actually something has happened, and it is happening. EACC has made a lot of strides. First, it is stable, and to achieve that stability is important, so that the officers in the commission can professionally focus their attention on fighting corruption. And we are very happy that as constituted now, it's a very stable commission that is focused to do its mandate. The religious sector, whether the Muslims or the Christians, the religious leaders are the voice of those who are not able to access this kind of forum. And therefore, it's good for us to work together, but as church leaders among themselves, to be able to stand up for their congregants, to ensure that the congregants are supported, are served properly in a nation that gives them justice.
Elsewhere, a proposal by Kuria East Member of Parliament seeking to amend Section 98 of the Kenyan Constitution to give way for the creation of 5 additional counties has elicited mixed reaction, with the Sabawat Council of Elders condemning area governor George Natembeya for opposing the idea. Boniface Barasa has the details.
Wale ambao wameanza porojo ya kusema kwamba Trans Nzoia itakuja kukatwa zikato namna gani uunde kaunti nyingine, hiyo maneno hatutakubali. Hiyo kweli ndoto waote na waamuke, will not agree. Wajue kwamba the boundaries of Trans Nzoia are cast on stone and they will never change.
This was Governor Natembeya's input on the proposal by Kuria East MP Marwa Maisori that seeks to have additional 5 more counties from the 47 devolved units to 52. The Sabawat Council of Elders are, however, opposed to Natembeya's sentiments, saying the creation of a new county will be advantageous to them since it will address their marginalization.
Nataka nimwambie mtu ambaye anaota ndoto za mchana ni hatari sana, kwa sababu anaamuka na anaenda kutenda.
Gavana wetu wa Trans Nzoia Bwana George Natembeya, na mimi leo nataka kumjibu na kuambia pia ndoto pia, dreams are also valid.
As professionals we condemn that and we don't understand his reasoning, and we want to advise him for free that what we are demanding is not going to take away anything from anyone.
The proposed counties are Mount Elgon from Bungoma and Trans Nzoia counties, Kuria from Migori County, Teso from Busia, East Pokot from Baringo, and Mwingi from Kitui County.
Nimefurahi sana vile wamesema wanabuni tupate Elgon County. Sisi kama wa Sabawat Kony tumenyanyaswa sana kwa muda mrefu. Sisi hatupati kazi. Sasa vile watatupea kama sisi Mount Elgon, tutakuwa na kaunti yetu, kila kitu tutafanywa sisi kama Elgon.
Jamii wa Mount Elgon historically tuliumia sana during colonialism, na tumeona Mungu amefungua njia.
Some of the leaders hailed the proposal, saying it will address the challenge of unfairness in resource allocation and politically instigated ethnic feuds.
The more counties we have for our region, the better for our people. Because tukiongezewa county, that means more resources will come, and more of our people will get employment in these counties.
Thinking that we can have extra counties that will address some ethnic interest may not augur well. We should be teaching our children to come together.
Viongozi wa makanisa, the sitting leaders, opinion leaders, and all leaders. When this motion comes, ikifika wakati wa kujadili motion, jamani tuache siasa ya kulumbana.
What remains is to see if the motion will sail through Parliament or not. Boniface Barasa, TV47.
Thank you, Boniface Barasa, for that report. Elsewhere, members of Parliament have raised questions on the newly created Department of Cabinet Affairs, saying it amounts to duplication of duties. This is after the docket's nominee, Julius Korir, appeared before Parliament for vetting, where he was tasked to explain the difference between his office and that of Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi. And as Apollo Kamau now reports, the day saw 10 nominees of President William Ruto litter Parliament with reforms and promises.
I shall give before this departmental committee.
Having served as Principal Secretary since 2014 in different ministries, Julius Korir, President Ruto's nominee in the State Department of Cabinet Affairs, tasked to oversee the implementation of cabinet decisions, was put on the spot by the Departmental Committee on National Administration and Internal Affairs after MPs queried his role, saying it amounts to duplication compared to Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi's duties, which, among other things, include assisting the President and his deputy to coordinate and supervise government ministries and state departments.
Knowing that this is a new department, why do you think this is required? This department is required. And don't you see that it is a duplication?
This office will be very useful in ensuring that it focuses its work on ensuring that it manages the cabinet affairs. That is, once the decisions have been made, directives have been made, policies have been passed and approved, programs approved, there is an office that focuses its attention on delivery.
At the Health Committee, veteran civil servant and PS nominee for Health Engineer Peter Toom said he will initiate reforms at the scandal-ridden Kenya Medical Supplies Agency KEMSA and review the controversial medical equipment service scheme once the current contract lapses, after a Senate report indicted the costly scheme for failing to improve health in county hospitals.
Before we sign a new contract, we have to undertake a complete review of the project, because now we are getting into a position where we can be able to look into the project afresh and tweak it to fit the requirements that are there in the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto.
Statistician and PS nominee to the Power of Interior Security docket, Raymond Omolo, who is currently the Managing Director of Lake Basin Development Authority, said he will pursue intelligence gathering, technology and consultation to fight crime.
On the first day of vetting, it was all about promises and reforms as the nominees raced to make the cut to be the next chief accounting officers in President William Ruto's administration. Apol Kamau, TV47, Parliament Buildings.
Thank you, our senior reporter Paulo Kamau, for that. You're watching Kenya's fastest growing television. Time for us to take a short break. Stay with us. We still have a lot lined up for you.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories. Next episode of The Realtor.
What we specialize mostly in is shipping containers for sale and both for sale and fabrication. It takes a shorter period of time to do a container home or a container office as opposed to brick and mortar. Container, ideally, it's something which you can build before building the main container, as in the brick house. We are not limited to the number of containers we can supply.
On Tuesday at 8:30 p.m.
Authentic, natural, planned.
transforming. Endless benefits. Slaty, purely Kenyan. Buy now on Jumia or Amazon.
Wanapoingia katika majengo haya kutunga sheria, tupo nao kukuletea safari zao kabla na baada ya kuingia humu. Milima na mabonde tutavuka, wakubwa kwa wadogo tutakuletea, ili mradi kuhakikisha kwamba unafahamu maisha yao.
Tukapata ajali hapa Roslyn Drive upande huu wa Gigiri, kwa watu wale walikuwa ndani, manusura walipelekwa hospitalini, lakini mimi niliwachwa pale chini nikiwa nimeambiwa nimefariki.
One of my hobbies is reading empowering books. I read empowering books na familia. Sina social circles ya friends ati tumeenda out, kwangu ni ngumu. My social circles ni vitabu.
Katika kipindi Mfahamu kila siku ya Alhamisi kuanzia saa 1:30 kuendelea, na mimi Elizabeth Mutuku.
Welcome to the exciting world of M-Truck Solutions, your trusted provider for bulk SMSs. We also offer API integrations for all your communication and payment needs. We also provide you with tailor-made payment getaway solution to receive and disperse cash quickly, affordable and securely. Let us expand your reach and connectivity on USSD, SMS and voice today. Call us on 0723 030 030 or email hello@mtruck.limited.co.ke. For more details, visit our website www.mtrucklimited.co.ke.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Now, the Central Bank of Kenya says banks write off at least 15 billion shillings worth of digital loans that currently stand in default status as part of credit repair framework. This is a relief to at least 4.2 million Kenyans listed by Credit Reference Bureau, CRB. This story was produced by Andrew Juma.
The Central Bank of Kenya has rolled out a credit repair plan that will see close to 4.2 million mobile money borrowers delisted by credit reference agencies. The bank has also asked lenders, including microfinance banks and mortgage finance companies, to provide a discount of at least 50% of the non-performing mobile phone digital loans outstanding as of the end of October 2022. In a statement released on Monday, the Apex Bank said lenders will grant 50% discount to defaulters with outstanding loans as at the end of October 2022, and the framework will expire on 31st May 2023. Borrowers covered in the write-offs will have their credit standing upgraded to performing from non-performing. The credit repair framework has been described by the CBK as additional initiatives to support the recovery of businesses and households from the elongated effects of COVID-19 pandemic. Previously, the CBK had directed banks to restructure the repayment of credit facilities to include extension to repayments by borrowers. At the same time, the credit repair framework is part of initiatives to overhaul the credit information sharing mechanism.
Elsewhere, the Kingdom of Belgium in Kenya, together with other stakeholders, together with other stakeholders in business sector, have organized an economic mission in Nairobi and Mombasa. The forum is seeking to promote investments, partnership and commercial business opportunities between Kenya and Belgium. The Trade Week will allow all stakeholders to have focused dialogue on current landscape, constraints and opportunities.
We know that Kenya is very good in exporting avocado. You know that Belgium is the first country in the world to import.
The Kenyan-Belgian Trade Week has begun in Nairobi and Mombasa from the 14th to the 19th of November. The Trade Week will allow all stakeholders from different sectors such as agriculture, ICT, construction, and energy to have focused dialogue and to explore proposals in the business and investment sphere and to forge business and investment partnerships between the two countries, that is Belgium and Kenya.
And what we are trying to do is to know each other in order to make business together between Belgian companies and Kenyan companies. And today we had the general introduction. What is the current situation in Kenya today with a new government, a new president, everyone is new. Today we will have the new PS, we had a new CS.
Equity Group has donated 120 million shillings to address the plight of Kenyans affected by the current drought in the country. The amount is composed of 60 million shillings from Equity Group and another 60 million from the family of Dr. James Mwangi. Speaking at a consultative meeting presided over by President William Ruto to discuss the current drought situation in the country, Dr. James Mwangi, Equity Group Managing Director and CEO, said that the move is to support families from the affected areas who struggle to find food and water.
Are you testing? Are you taking?
I'm taking.
KCB Group Chief Executive Officer Paul Russo has been appointed to the United Nations Environment Programme Finance Leadership Council. The CEO joins other global leaders in mainstreaming and deepening sustainability integration across the financial industry.
TV47, the home of untold stories.
Hour-long car rides, crossing county borders, withstanding harsh weather conditions, all because of you as we bring you different farming tips and experiences.
Normally the farmers have the normal growing products, the NPKs, the basal fertilizers, but due to overusage of our soil and the crops have become more needy.
Did you know that spinach, the normal spinach, has a lot of acid than even skuma wiki?
We bring you the stories of different farmers who've brought biodiversity to life by telling the stories of their farms and giving their experiences.
I mix the top soil with enough manure and DAP. So after that I take my plants as it is in that pot. I plant it as it is.
Every Sunday at 6:30 p.m.
soft living. The stories of those who have gone beyond the limit.
Nilitaka kuwa nurse. Nilipoenda shule ya college, nikaambiwa siwezi beba wagonjwa, siwezi kimbia.
We found that Shiro developed some abnormal growth just at birth, and this was caused by an umbilical cord that had been tied around her neck.
Because as you said, most of the time getting a child with disability is multifactorial. It's not necessarily just age, or it's not the delivery process. It's from the alcohol that you drink, from the smoking, yes, and all those other behavioral factors that are there.
And I'm happy that I've been able to take care of her for all those years.
Every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. You are watching TV 47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back. Let's get to the world of sports. Dennis Otieno is with me in studio. Dennis, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, Abubakar, it is a lot that we have for you in the world of sports tonight. We'll be telling you what the Nandi County Senator Samson Cherargei had to say about the doping menace in the country. We shall also be telling you the preparations that are underway for the East African Under-15 Taekwondo Championships. Those among the many other stories that we've lined up for you in the world of sports. But just to start us off is the story on doping. Now, Nandi County Senator Samson Cherargei has weighed in on the doping menace that has continued to taint Kenya's image globally, saying there could be a conspiracy by various nations in the world. Now, according to Samson Cherargei, who was speaking to the media from the Parliament building, the athletes in the grassroots levels consume herbal medication, which is later termed as banned substances upon testing. Cherargei urged the Ministry of Sports and Athletics Kenya to review the regulations and approval of athletes, managers and coaches who must be vetted. Now, I'm being informed that story is being prepared and it will be with us in a few minutes from now. But moving on, Sparkling Taekwondo Academy has intensified its preparations and grading for the Under-15 Taekwondo team that will represent Kenya in the 2022 ITF East Africa Taekwondo Championships, slated to kick off from 28th to 30th November. Now, this year in Kampala, Uganda. Now, the academy held its grading in Kikuyu Sub-County, Kiambu County, before traversing 7 other counties to make up the teams that will take part in the competition. Speaking during the grading exercise in Kiambu County, Sparkling Taekwondo Academy head coach John Mwangi called upon the national and county governments to come on board and support the sport. Mwangi's sentiments were echoed by ITF Taekwondo National Chairman Wamwea Gishini, who urged the government to embrace Taekwondo so as to facilitate Kenya to excel in sports.
We can come back to
We have power breaking, that is the first category, pattern competition, and we have sparring competition. And the final one, we are hoping that they will also participate for special technique competition.
Serikali haijaingilia kati kwa sababu tumejaribu kuingia kwa hizo ofisi, lakini bado hatujafua dafu. Lakini tunajua ya kwamba wanatusikia na watatufadhili.
Challenge to us is the area of financing, because it involves a lot of money, and we need to facilitate the movements of the teachers and the practitioners as well. And at the same time, in the curriculum of the school, apart from maybe private institutions, they have not put it as part of the learning curriculum. So sometimes we
Now, let's get back to the story that I read to you a bit earlier, where Nandi County Senator Samson Cherargei has weighed in on the doping menace that has continued to taint Kenya's image globally, saying there could be a conspiracy by various nations in the world trying to diminish Kenya's athletics dominance. Speaking to the media from the Parliament building, Senator Gerard Gay said the athletes, or rather athletes in the grassroots level, consume herbal medication, which is later termed as banned substances upon testing. Gerard Gay urged the Ministry of Sports and Athletics Kenya to review the regulations and approval of athletes, managers and coaches who must be vetted.
There could be a conspiracy because you have to know that Kenya has been dominating the championship, and the prowess that Kenyans have been known is on the issue of athletics. There could be a conspiracy from other nations and individuals who come to this country purporting to train our athletes, but end up giving them the vice so that we are banned. Because the consideration now is to ban Kenya from participating in athletics in the world. So there could be a conspiracy that is being done. Because even we are being told, where I come from, kuna ile dawa ya kienyeji, ile miti ya kienyeji, miti shamba. Kuna some athletes huwa wanakunywa. Lakini hao watu wa kufanya doping wanaenda kuchukua damu, wanasema wamefanya doping. Ili hali ni ile, unajua mtoto akizaliwa kuna kitu inaitwa sagetiek in our local language, inachemushwa ndio inyoroshe mwili. Lakini the anti-doping agency, the world agencies that regulate, take that drug and say that our athletes are doping. Na ni ile, na najua hata wengi wenu hapa, na sisemi ile ya mambo ya waganga wanauza ile ya uzazi ama sijui nini hiyo, hapana. Nasema ile unakunywa ile dawa ya kienyeji, inasemekana ati ya kwamba au at least wakikunywa hiyo ndio banned substance. But Athletics Kenya and Ministry of Sports and Ministry of Health are doing little about educating athletes so that at least know hiyo miti ya shamba, na sijui kama kuna such research kuonyesha hiyo miti ya shamba ama hiyo miti ya kienyeji ama dawa ya kienyeji ni part of the drug that has been banned by International Organization on Anti-Doping Issues. So those are some of the issues that our athletes should be trained on and should be called upon.
It is one of the key issues that the new Sports Cabinet Secretary Ababu Namwamba has vehemently come out to say that he will be fighting the doping menace in the country and will be upgrading the state of athletics in the country. But moving on, the Kenya Catchball Federation intensified its preparations for the International Catchball World Cup tournament, slated to begin from 18th to 21st December this year in Nairobi by hosting the Kenya Catchball Federation Championships in Mombasa. The championships saw Umoja fall to a 2-1 sets defeat to Baba Dogo with scores of 25-23, 21-25 and 13-15 in the ladies category, while in the men's category, Technical University of Mombasa thrashed Umoja in sets of 2-1 with scores of 23-25, 27-25 and 26-24. The federation used the tournament, which is the second to be held in Mombasa, to select the final squad that will take part in the games that Kenya will host as well as take part in for the first time.
Hii ni mara yetu ya kwanza kuwakilisha na host mchezo. Sasa tulikuwa tumekuja huku Mombasa kwa sababu tumekuwa na wachezaji wengine huku na kuwachagua waende wakilishe timu yetu ya Kenya, timu ya taifa ambayo watakuwa na cheza huko Nairobi.
Mchezo huu ni geni kwetu. Ndugu zetu kutoka Nairobi ndo walitujumuisha. Ni mwezi wa 3 sasa ambao tumejua huu mchezo, lakini tunashukuru Mungu ni tournament ya pili Mombasa. Tumekuwa tukienda kwa miezi 3, tumekuwa na tournament Nairobi na Mombasa pia tumejaribu kuleta tournament ni mara ya pili. Tulianza kuanzia jana, entry point ni mtu yoyote. Tuko na universities, tuko na high school, tuko na clubs.
Meanwhile, Mombasa security expert Gladys Mweni emerged the overall winner in the 2022 East Park Charity Golf Tournament played at the Par 71 Nyali Golf and Country Club course in Mombasa County. The handicap 23 lady golfer won after carding 39 Stableford points to clinch the lead and register her first major victory in the year, as handicap 35 Winfred Ndunge carded 37 points to be crowned the lady winner. Meanwhile, George Mokua, playing off handicap 33, was the main winner on 39 points, beating handicap 31 Dr. Mukesh Shah to the runners-up slot by a single shot, while handicap 27 Kamau Kuria carded 36 points to sit third. The event was organized through a partnership between Eastpark, Konza Technopolis, and golfer Yobesh Obero to raise funds in support of needy students pursuing their university degrees.
I had a buddy for the first time on this home golf course, and had also 2 pars and several bogeys. Yeah, most of the participants are CPA or accountants who have been attending the annual seminar here in Mombasa, but of course we also have other players from Nyali Golf Club and also Mombasa Golf Club, and other guests who are visiting Mombasa. So everybody was welcome. It's a charity golf tournament, and we look forward to raising funds to supporting needy cases from countries as far as Turkana, Kwale, Baringo.
And finally, the Kenya Woodball Federation has asked the government to channel more funds into the sport in equal measure to football, athletics and rugby as one of the ways to create employment opportunities among talented youth. Leaders at the Federation, led by their President Anthony Mwanzia and Secretary General Samuel Latiba, stated that the biggest challenge they face is the lack of playing equipment. Speaking at Masinde Muliro University in Kakamega County, where they organized a 2-ball tournament, National Woodball team head coach Titus Mboya said they remain focused while in training camp as they prepare to participate in the national championships next year. The 6th edition of the tournament has attracted teams from Uganda, Tanzania and Kenya.
It's a challenge because for somebody to continue playing or rather practicing the game needs equipment, and that has been our greatest hurdle. We probably are pleading to the Ministry of Sports, especially the new CS, to see how they can support most of these emerging sports.
Kuja wachezaji watatu kutokana na kwamba bado hatujapata support kutoka kwenye government. Government inatupa tu kibali cha kuja kushiriki, lakini bado hawajatupa support nyingine mpaka tutakapokamilisha usajili wa taifa.
And that is all we had prepared for you in the world of sports. Now you're up to speed with the latest sports stories taking shape locally as well as internationally. My name is Dennis Otieno. I do want to thank you for choosing to join us. I wish you a lovely night as I take it back to Bakar Abdullahi.
And perhaps, Dennis, before we finish and I let you go and then we start Pundit's night, why is Manchester United hell-bent on frustrating the greatest of all-time player, Cristiano Ronaldo?
So the one word that is missing from that question is allegedly, because these are allegations that have not yet been confirmed. Remember, earlier today we saw the club that...
When he is not playing, when he is on the bench, he's told to warm up and not subbed on.
Well, most of the United fans would be of the contrary opinion, because Ronaldo's been given playing time, but he's not been scoring goals for the Manchester United side. So it's pure simple. Ronaldo is just out of form. He's not the once upon a time Cristiano Ronaldo that we once knew. And Abubakar, United issued a statement saying that they need to see the full interview done by Piers Morgan on Cristiano Ronaldo, which will be released later on this week. What we're having are snippets of the interview. So once they get to review the whole of it, then they will seek legal action against Ronaldo. One of them being a possible termination of contract, and then probably they would go ahead to sue Cristiano Ronaldo.
This is not a random player, Dennis, isn't it? This is the greatest of all time in many football fans' view.
It is true, Abubakar, and it's quite a shame to see his career go down in this way. Remember...
Oh, he's coming to Arsenal. He's upgrading from Manchester. But Dennis, could this be signaling to problems at United? Mourinho is on record saying there is a problem structurally at United. Ibrahimovic was a player at United, signaling in his statement that there is a problem with the structure. You have Cristiano Ronaldo echoing all what they have said in the past.
But then again, could this be sentiments coming from personalities who are failing at the club? Because then again, you ask yourself, after they made these allegations and they went ahead to leave Manchester United, were they that successful? Talk about Jose Mourinho being at AS Roma. Is he that successful? Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Dennis, I had to remind you as a United fan that it was Mourinho who won you a cup after Ferguson left.
it's a rebuilding club, a project that has been built to a certain level, then brought all the way down with the appointment of new managers who start on a new project, then it's brought all the way down. So the club has remained adamant that it will stick by the new manager, that is Erik ten Hag. And if he gets to register good results for United, then you will see exactly where the problem is, between the personalities that are complaining about Manchester United or the structure at the club that is Manchester United.
And given that Ronaldo exit is imminent, is it to the Blues of London or to the red side of London?
It is highly unlikely that he's going to join either side. Remember, as at the beginning of the season, he wanted to leave the club, but most clubs were saying that they did not want his services. So it's highly unlikely to see Ronaldo getting to join a big club. He'd actually go for, the likes of Sheriff Tiraspol or Omonia or, such small clubs where he's going to make an impact.
Thank you, Dennis Otieno. He is our sports reporter and anchor. That brings us to the end of the news. But as always, on Mondays,